The conflation of Gog and Magog with the legend of Alexander and the Iron Gates was disseminated throughout the Near East in the early centuries of the Christian era, finding its way eventually into Surah 18 of the Qu'ran. In Islam, Alexander is known as Dhul-Qarnayn, the two-horned one. The name is taken from the Syrian legend and describes his journeys from one extremity, horn, of the world to the other. Dhul-Qarnayn, Alexander, having journeyed to the ends of the world, meets a people who scarcely understood a word, who seek his help in building a barrier that will separate them from the people of Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog, who do great mischief on earth and live across the mountain. He agrees to build it for them, but warns that when the time comes, last age, Allah will remove the barrier and Yajuj and Majuj will swarm through. The early traditions were summarized by Al-Qazwini, d. 1283, in two popular works called the Cosmography and the Geography. Gog and Magog, he says, are a people who can be counted only by God, but only half the height of a normal man, with claws instead of nails and a hairy tail and huge hairy ears which they use as mattress and cover for sleeping. Their land was explored by the two-horned one, who found them living near to the sea that encircles the earth. They scratch at their wall each day until they almost break through, but each night God restores it. But when they do break through, they will be so numerous that their vanguard is in Syria and their rear in Khorasan. When classical writers identified Yajuj and Majuj with real peoples, it was the Turks, who threatened Baghdad, and the Muslims in northern Iran. He, Magog, will be followed by people who have rough and broad faces. Later, when the Mongols destroyed Baghdad in 1258, it was they who were Gog and Magog. The wall dividing them from civilized peoples was normally placed towards Armenia and Azerbaijan, but in the year 842 the Caliph al-Wadiq had a dream in which he saw that it had been breached, and sent an official named Salam to investigate. Salam returned a little over 2 years later and reported that he had seen the wall and also the tower where Dhul-Qarnayn had left his building equipment, and all was still intact. It is not entirely clear what Salam saw, but he may have reached the Jade Gate, the westernmost customs point on the border of China. Somewhat later, the 14th century traveler Ibn Battuta reported that the wall was 60 days' travel from the city of Xitan, which is on the coast of China. The translator notes that Ibn Battuta has confused the Great Wall of China with that built by Dhul-Qarnayn.